So we're about to do our fast pitch, and before we get to that, I wanted to bring to some of the smaller companies' attentions the Center for Financial Services Innovation, CFSI, and JP Morgan have launched an initiative called the Financial Solutions Lab. And this initiative has been funded by JP Morgan, and I think for this coming calendar year, they are allocating $3 million in awards for financial services technology companies with capital and tech assistance in the amount of $3 million. It might not be $3 million in cash, it could be some in-kind services. But we have Ryan Falvey here. Ryan, can you stand up real quick? Ryan is leading the charge and has come out here from San Francisco looking for innovative companies. Right now, their first initiative, which they'll launch on Tuesday, is they're trying to find cash budgeting solutions for households. And their plan is to allocate money across 7 or 8 different companies to help those companies grow and develop products that will ultimately help underserved consumers grow and do a better job of managing their household budgets for this case. And as they move forward, they'll come up with more use cases. So I know that I mentioned to our double net pay folks, this is an opportunity again to potentially bring more capital into Atlanta to help drive additional innovation. So please reach out to Ryan, give him your business plan. He said he wants to leave with about 20, so don't be bashful. Okay, without further ado, we're gonna jump into our fast picks session here, and now we're 7 hours in, and I have just now figured out where they put the screen I'm supposed to be able to read. So we have 5 innovative small companies vying for your audience vote. They're each gonna get about 4 minutes. We'll try to do 1 minute for questions. Everybody in the room gets 1 vote for their favorite company, and the winning company gets to leave with just a barrel full of pride. We don't really have a prize. So good luck to all these folks, and I'd like to introduce Amy Korn, who is a Senior Vice President for Communications and Marketing with Global Payments. Global Payments is our event sponsor and was instrumental in making this happen, and Amy is going to introduce the fast pitch companies. Amy?
Good afternoon. I'm not sure how I got the spot between you and cocktail, so I will move quickly, and the light is blinding, so we'll do our best. But thank you. Thank you, Sean, and to TAG and TAG FinTech. We're really proud to be here and be a sponsor of this event. We're very active in the FinTech community, and it's just an honor for us to be here. So without further ado, we're gonna get moving. All right, so our first company is Authentech ID and Blair Cohen.
All right, this is fast, right? Okay, great. Right off the bat, we're going to ask you for your vote today, and here's why we're going to ask you for your vote. The solution that you're going to see today, with all due respect to all the other fast pitch competitors, it just solves a bigger problem. In fact, we solve the biggest problem on earth, identity fraud. Probably the biggest problem plaguing FinTech today. Secondly, our solution is completely disruptive to an industry that's been around for 100 years, that's entirely broken. Thirdly, what you're going to see is something very rare. This is where fraud prevention and customer experience actually marry instead of collide. And lastly, it's the only solution that you're going to see today that's a true innovation. Nobody else in the world has what we have. We've created an entirely new industry, an entirely new category. The next generation of proving identity, we don't use data. All this name, address, date of birth, social security numbers are stolen from Anthem and Target and all those places. They're now useless. The next generation of identity proofing, we don't use data. We use something much more difficult for a fraudster to acquire. We use something that you physically own and control, something that you have, kind of the equivalent of an RSA token, if you will. We use your government-issued identity document. We're able to do this in 192 countries around the globe. The other thing that we use that fraudsters simply can't acquire is a biometric, we use your face, something that you own, something that you are, a facial biometric. So we're actually able to compare the person that's performing the transaction with the person depicted on the ID. I'm going to queue up a live demo, as risky as that might be. Go ahead and let's see how it works. Phil. I'm going to switch over screens, and what you're going to see is our Catfish Air screen. And envision this, there being a button in your bank portal that says validate your identity here. When they click that button, instead of answering name, address, date of birth, social security number, all they have to do, they're going to call our API, we're going to image your identity document. We spent a lot of time on imaging. We're going to take the front and the back, and then we're going to forensically analyze that document using the same technology that Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol agencies worldwide, TSA, use to forensically authenticate identity documents. We're going to send those images off to our authentication server, and these images can be grabbed using a phone, a tablet, or a webcam. Submitted to our authentication server, we're going to categorize the document, run a series of document-centric tests on that ID. And within 9.5 seconds time, it's coming up here. Okay, so all the customer has to do is choose the type of document that he's going to image. Since we do this forensically, we don't make them analyze whether it's a state ID or a driver's license. Go back to just authenticate. So once the document hits our authentication server, we're going to categorize the document, pull up a sample from our reference library, and begin a pixel-by-pixel comparison. Run a series of document-centric tests to verify the existence, the accuracy, and the precise placement of all the security features on that identity document. Go ahead and click continue. Maybe they'll get to see it. And lastly, we tie in facial recognition after we've imaged the identity document, proved its authenticity, we have the user take a selfie, and within about 9.5 seconds time, we're going to be able to give you conclusive proof that you know who your customer is. Pretty quickly, what you've seen is that we've authenticated the document as an authentic document. We've accurately extracted all of the data from the document. And if you think about an online customer opening up an account process, we've just saved that customer 3 minutes and 12 seconds and giving you accurate data. No typos, first name's in the first name field, last name's in the last name field, validated the address, full KYC platform built in here, OFAC, SDN, all that can be instantly searched. My time is up. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Blair. The next, welcome Steve Latham from Banyan Hills.
Okay, the last 25 years has really been spent building the infrastructure that's going to power the next technology revolution. When you think about this and you think about all the advancements that have happened in such a short amount of time, we've got things like the invention of the internet, email, new forms of communication through social media. All of these technologies have been coming to life. You think about mobile and the mobile platforms that were brought in the early 90s or late 90s. And then in 2007, when Steve Jobs brought the iPhone to market, it literally, there's no doubt that these things changed the way that we live our lives. But in 2008, something significant happened in the shadow of the financial crisis. What happened is we reached this milestone for internet connectivity that not many people really think about. The number of connected devices to the internet exceeded the number of people on the planet. So we were at 12.5 billion devices. And then when you think about this and you fast forward and you look at 2020, we're estimating that there's roughly going to be 30 billion devices that are connected to the internet. And these just aren't mobile devices or machines, laptops, computers. These are sensors. These are things that make the environment around us become awake, become alive, so that we can use that data to begin using it to optimize customer experiences and business operations. If you look at the market and you think about the market that's available for us to go address through Internet of Things technologies, there's about $300 billion that's estimated to be available to us across many, many industries by 2020. So $300 billion. And you look at healthcare, for example. Healthcare is roughly $80 billion of that. So there's this massive opportunity, not necessarily for, well, actually for the Internet of Things technologies and platforms to really go take advantage of this. You take a standard application and you apply it to these markets, there's really a chance for us to go hit a home run. And what's led to this is if you look at some of the trends that have been happening around hardware technology and software technology, cloud-based solutions like we heard about with Bitcoin, there's been this dramatic decrease in the amount of cost for hardware that have made solutions that are Internet of Things enabled economically viable. There's been, the cost of bandwidth has dropped by 40%. If you look at the cost of processing year over year, that cost is dropping by 60%. And then if you look at what's available to us for storage, how do you store all of this data that we're collecting? There's been a dramatic cost reduction there, 38% reduction over the last 10 years. These are some of the reasons that the Internet of Things is becoming this really hyped up opportunity. So at Banyan Hills, what we're focused on is building a software platform that allows you to operate this network of connected devices. And when you really get down to it, it's a very complicated operation. You've got an agent that sits, a piece of software that lives on a device that needs to become alive. It connects to a network, and then you have to have a very robust back office infrastructure to support the scale and the availability of the data that's necessary for an operator to use it and make sense of it. And one of the distinct challenges that we're looking to solve with Canopy, which is the name of our product, is we want to if you take an operator today, they've got distinct, separate, isolated views into their data. They've got a point-of-sale system that gives them transactional views. Then they have new emerging Internet of Things platforms like energy management systems. And then they have beacon technologies that now tell them what the line looks like and what the customer experience is inside of the store for location. But there's really nothing that takes all of that data, aggregates it together, and correlates it in meaningful ways for an operator. Canopy sits on top of all of those data streams, all of the ones that are available, consumes that data, organizes it logically, and then makes it efficient to get to from an operator standpoint. An operator can then go into a central enterprise and then use all of the tools that are necessary for running your business, whether it's customer relationship management, ERP functionality, if it's incident management, field dispatch, all of those operations become centrally available through one console called Canopy. So if you don't believe this, the best way to get a better sense of the technology that we're building and we're enabling is come right outside, walk right out this door, and we're immediately in your face, and you'll smell the popcorn. We took a popcorn machine and we instrumented it with sensors, and those sensors are reporting data real time up to Canopy, our Internet of Things operation, our platform, and making that data available to consume. We have the best technology resources. The technology resources that we have working with us today are the same resources that have built your transactional ATMs, your point of sales, and and all of this, all of the history that we have, we're trying to apply to build the right technologies for the future.
Very good. We're going to keep moving. Next is Brian Gentry of iMobile 3.
Thank you. iMobile 3 began its life as a professional services organization, and since then, as you can see, we've powered lots and lots of solution downloads, hundreds of millions of dollars in commerce. More than 70,000 merchants use our solutions, and the product that I'd like to talk to you about today is called Passmarket. At a high level, Passmarket is a cloud-based platform that allows merchants to provide the kinds of communication and tools that larger merchants get for free by having a technology infrastructure that smaller merchants can't have. They're able to communicate with the 20% of consumers that really make up the 80% of the profit that these merchants have. Right now, there's over 70,000 merchants using this platform, and it's perfect for multi-unit operators and mom and pops alike. Some of the features that merchants are enjoying today with Passmarket are being able to offer rewards and couponing programs to their consumers. Consumers can come in and earn loyalty. The merchants are given an application that consumers install on their phones. And merchants are able to run push notification campaigns based on a set of rules or ad hoc campaigns. For example, if someone drives by a merchant shop, they can push a coupon out to that consumer, and the consumer will receive that and be able to exercise that coupon. If a consumer hasn't come into the shop in a few weeks, they're able to send out a campaign automatically. Or if Tuesday night is soccer night, they want to send out a local campaign to entice people to come in on soccer night, they're able to do that. There's a couple of videos that I want to show you that show the solution working today in merchants that we have. The first one that you'll see is for an order ahead scenario. A consumer can order ahead a product and pick it up in the store, pay for it with Apple Pay right from their phone.
Keeping up with the changing demands of loyal customers is important to any business, whether it's rewarding customers for purchases, providing great offers, or allowing customers to pay with their phone. Customer retention comes first. At iMobile 3, we understand this need better than anyone. That's why our Pass Market applications allow your customers to pay their bill right from the table using Apple Pay. When the bill arrives at the table, your customer simply opens the Pass Market app, scans the QR code at the bottom of the receipt, selects their payment card choice, and adds a tip. Pass Market does the rest. In just a few seconds, your customer's payment is complete, they automatically earn rewards, and a mobile receipt is provided. With the Pass Market app and Apple Pay, your customers now have a secure, safe, and simple way to pay at the table. Finding a new customer is a good thing, but creating loyal customers with Pass Market is even better.
Obviously, that was pay at the table, not order ahead, but a similar video for ordering ahead. A consumer can pull out their Pass Market application and order product, pay for it with Apple Pay, and it's ready for them when they go into the merchant's store to pick it up. Some of the benefits that merchants are receiving by using the Pass Market platform include more than 30% gross frequency lift. These are important metrics for small and medium-sized businesses alike. A 12.4% redemption rate for loyalty. More than 68% monthly guest frequency lift, enormous. And a 48, almost 50% average ticket lift. These numbers are staggering when you think about that in terms of a small business. And I'd love to talk more about this solution. Our table's right outside, and thanks for the time.
Okay, up next we have David Eads with Mobile Strategy Partners.
Bring me down, the love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing.
So we're based here in Atlanta, and we're trusted advisors to dozens of financial institutions as well as other companies as well. About 80% of our customers are financial institutions of all sizes, including large institutions in Canada as well as here in the US. And in this work that we've done with these customers, we have found a $1.8 trillion problem as it exists today. And that is the fact that it's really difficult for a mobile-first customer to be able to switch institutions. And there's millions of millennials that are coming online every year that are mobile-first people, including my children and the children of a lot of the folks that work in our company. And institutions don't really have a great way to allow people that really want to use their mobile device on the bus or wherever they might be to be able to start a relationship with that organization, much less extend an existing relationship. In fact, what we've seen is that just over the last year, the number of visits to account opening sites at institutions has gone from roughly 30% to almost 40%, 37% just in this year. So if you look at the size of the market and the number of folks that are willing to change institutions just today, even with it as difficult as it is to change institutions, it's a $1.8 trillion problem. And so that abandonment rate as it stands today is 80%. So what we've done is we've taken all the concepts of retail e-commerce and the experts that we have on our team that have spent their entire careers with risk and KYC and AML rules and so on in deposit operations, and we focused on streamlining that process and taking a process that's evolved effectively from paper in the last, basically a paper problem or a paper form from the 1980s. Has just been stuck online and then made narrow and longer for the web. We've streamlined those applications and we use technology such as imaging, GPS, and so on to be able to pre-populate that information and hide and show fields as necessary based on the institution's rules to be able to allow somebody to sign up and join your institution while they're sitting on the bus, for example, in 4 minutes or less. And not only that, but we have integrations into unique switching capabilities called ClickSwitch that allows automated moving of direct deposit of bills and other payment information, so that not only do you have a new customer with a funded account, but you also are starting the switching process so that they become a new primary, that your relationship is their primary relationship. So we believe that this is going to be game-changing, and it's going to start an arms race among the financial institutions as it becomes easier to switch from bank to bank, and especially as millennials decide that they are not going to put up with the way that things have been done in the past. So thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you at cocktails.
Like happiness is the truth, because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is.
Okay, our final company in this fast pitch segment is Trade Rocket Santiago Venegas.
Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high.
All right, so we went to the introduction. Everybody knows what Trade Rocket is. It's a supplier platform. Suppliers get access to see their invoices and get early payment opportunities. The buyers get the ability to generate additional revenue without impacting their cash flow. So what is it that we're trying to solve here? Based on our research from the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, if you look at the mid-market, 85% of the respondents said that they don't get enough financing. As a matter of fact, 45% of those respondents claim this is the main issue their business is facing. So, and we all know that regulation, everything that's happened in the past few years, getting access to cash, is a daunting task. So what does that look like today? Buyers rule, suppliers drool. Most of the buyers are actually pushing payment terms out. Why? Because they can. But if you look at the statistics, 70% are actually pushing the payments, keeping their cash. They want to keep their cash as long as they can. Only 27% of those guys can actually take advantage of early payments. Why is that? Getting early payment discount is a pretty good business. Well, there's a simple reason for that. They can either, they take an average of 21 days to approve an invoice, or they don't have the cash to pay early. At the same time, the supplier is pushing in the direction in the other way, basically stating, I want to get paid sooner, right? I'm even offering you an early payment discount, because going to factoring or getting paid through other, trade finance, mechanisms is probably very expensive or difficult to obtain. So what if there is a world where actually the supplier gets paid sooner and the buyer gets to actually extend payment terms out? And that's where Trade Rocket actually is a solution. I'm going to spend most of the time here. This is what we built. Our platform basically solves all those issues, getting the invoice approved quicker and providing the access to the early payment. We have electronic invoicing. The supplier can email us, they can mail us, they can attach an invoice, whatever they want. We'll take that information, we digitize it, and then we match it up with the buyer's purchase order and receipt inventory. So theoretically, we can approve an invoice in one day if everything matches. What does that mean? The supplier is going to have full visibility into when that invoice is approved, and they're going to get a notification where they can actually get early payment. In other words, if my invoice is going to pay on March 15, I get an email today, hey, my invoice has been approved, I can get payment tomorrow if I need it. Finally, there is the payments component, which we have the payment information from every supplier. We know the invoice amount. We know when that invoice is going to get paid. It's just the necessary step or the obvious next step, to make those payments on behalf of the client. So let's recap the value proposition here for both. You're improving working capital for the buyer. You're reducing their operational cost. All of a sudden, 80% of the invoices that are coming every day, they're not having to digitize or approve because they match. And they're generating new revenue opportunities by obtaining those early payment discounts. From the supplier standpoint, they accelerate their cash flow. They have complete visibility on when that invoice is approved, or if it's been rejected, or if it hasn't been approved. and they reduce the collection cost because they don't have to call. They know exactly, the status of the invoice. Thank you, and let's have some drinks.